Happy Friday, and we are back with another Fireside Fridays. This week, we're really lucky to be joined by a principal engineer on the Verizon Connect team. So we have Sérgio Vicente, who works on the partners and integration team here in Verizon Connect, and it's everything from integrations through to the marketplace that will keep our customers engaged and on board within the business. So let me bring Sérgio in here, and we'll kick it off. Sérgio, hi, and welcome to Fireside Fridays. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. It's Friday. It's always a lovely day. Really glad to be here and enjoying this conversation with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking out the window here at the Dublin Hills as we kick off, and I can actually see some blue sky and sunshine out there for once. So we're having a good run now the last couple of days, I think.
Yeah, it has been good. We can't complain.
Okay, cool. So look, you're a principal engineer with Verizon Connect. So job titles, internal job titles, external job titles, they can sometimes be as elastic as an elastic band. What is a principal engineer within the Verizon Connect context?
So within our context is mostly about guiding a product or solution, a component from the analysis side until actual implementation, going through development, going to documentation, going to testing, to all of those. So someone with more experience would just contribute with the overall knowledge and experience that they have to try and guide and assist on in terms of the engineering effort to just get it to a good solid state. Um, while you can just set up either guidelines or provide assistance or advice, you can always go in and also start implementing uh, just as a developer. So you can do a lot from productivity perspective. You can troubleshoot, you can assist, you can mentor. So it's one of the things I love about the role is that there's a lot that's open to you, and you can assist where you can give the most amount of contribution to the teams.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Where a question for you, and it's a loaded question because a lot of the time we're hoping engineers out there in the world will get a chance to see behind the scenes here and understand how to get to where you are and beyond, of course, as well. So often we're hit up by engineers or junior, mid-level, even senior engineers, and they'll always wonder about that career path or career trajectory. So what's your journey been like over the years? How have you arrived
Yeah.
in the position of principal engineer?
Yeah, so when I talk about this, people are like, you don't seem very, I want to get to that point. I've never been like that.
Mm.
I've always been the curious type. So anything that comes my way, I'm very grateful for it. And then I just roll with it. I don't go in and say, oh, I want to work on that project or I want to do this type of stuff. So my career has kind of worked itself out. So I started with the smaller roles, just assisting someone doing something in IT until you get to a place where you can kind of know something about programming, and then you evolve from there. I think the biggest factor in that has been my curiosity, and then the fact that I don't say no to work. So anything that comes my way, I'll tackle it. I'll do it the best of my abilities, learn from it, and then move over to the next stuff, which would be the biggest recommendation I can give someone doing a career in IT. Never shy away from responsibilities. Take every piece of work you can, amass as much knowledge as you can, and eventually you'll get there. So as in life, there's always some lucky breaks where you get and where you speed up your learning process and your development. But it's also very important the people you work with. So you should work with people who know and who can give you that knowledge, and that will speed up. So eventually it's a combination of the knowledge that you've amassed with your ability and discipline to do hard work that leads you to those upper levels in terms of career.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. I often talk to to the fact that a lot of people end up where they are. And when I say where they are, I don't necessarily just mean that job title,
Yeah.
What they're doing today, but they end up working with a specific type of technology or tools or what have you, either through experience, so this is what I know,
Yeah.
or vision, hey, that's cool, the cloud AI or whatever the new thing is, or whatever tool it might be. I'd like to work with that, I think. Whereas you're talking about something a little bit different that's kind of in between both of those things, and you're talking about actually doing and then learning by doing as well over time.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, you can get those opportunities. So imagine you're in a company and you finish a project, all of a sudden something comes in, which is a new technology, a new framework, or a new area. So let's just say AI or machine learning or something like that. You do get those lucky breaks where it's nice and you're working on something new, but it doesn't happen frequently. So sometimes you have to create your own path, and that means you have to put work outside of your normal job to kind of learn new technologies, keep up to date, read, invest in yourself.
Mm.
And if you keep pushing, and if you in your actual job you say, oh, I found a really cool way of doing this type of task or this type of project, and you try to bring it in, things will happen to you. So sometimes you do get those kind of those elements arranged in a way that facilitates the transition into areas or projects or better space in your career. But a lot of the times you have to be the one to push for it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's as easy as putting your hand up and say, I've got a really cool idea and let me show that to you. And it was one of the things that I found really good at Verizon Connect. People are very open to talking about other ways of doing stuff, and they're open to new ideas. We have innovation days. There's a lot in there that you wouldn't find at your traditional company.
Yeah, true. We keep hearing this over and over again, and it's really and it's over a long period of time. I mean, maybe a year ago, I remember talking with Dermot O'Reilly, who's had been John Malanphy's chief of staff and the product R&D team, and he spoke about crafting your own career. He more or less said, forget that future job title, and
Yeah,
just you come into a company, Verizon Connect specifically, but you come into the company. And if you have those ideas, you can just go and make it happen in here. And
exactly. Yeah.
it's part of the culture, right? You touched on the innovation days there. I always tell people that we do innovation on purpose in here. What's your take on innovation in the Verizon Connect world?
Oh, I think it's an amazing opportunity to kind of push the ideas that you have out there that sometimes you have no opportunity of bringing in your normal day-to-day role. And just the fact that there is focus on innovation, that the
Mm.
company is concerned about innovation, just shows a different perspective on developing of your business and developing of people that work with you. There's a lot of things, especially for me, where I've been in the industry for close to 25 years. It's you've seen a lot, so it's easier maybe for me to kind of compare between what some companies are doing, what other companies are doing. And someone who's getting into the market or has a few years of experience wouldn't be able to see that this type of activities, they aren't your standard in the industry, you know. So this is something that you should be grateful for. You should be happy that there is this type of stuff. A lot of companies are more focused on the now. So we've got this product, let's make money out of this, and let's ensure that this is stable and all that, while forgetting that the future, I'm not talking about the next year or two, I'm talking about 5, 10, 15 years.
Yeah,
It needs to develop, it needs to grow, you need to find better and greater ways, because things will be thrown at you that will completely disrupt what you have now. And what's applicable today is not applicable tomorrow.
yeah,
So this might seem like a small thing, like an innovation day or that, but that's an actual concern into the future, how we can improve, how we can get better, and explore new opportunities. So what I always tell people is, don't just look at the job title. Don't chase, I want to be X. Think about who you want to work with, what company you want to work, what type of culture, because it's much more important for you, for your development, and for your happiness while you're actually doing work, which is a huge part of a person's life.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think that culture you're talking about exists on every team, even our own team in TA, which isn't, although we're helping build engineering and product and experience teams, we're talent acquisition as opposed to engineers per se. And we have that support from the business. We only spoke about it last week, actually. One of the comments had come in during the live feed about how the support is there. If you want to pursue something, go for it. So it's interesting. So disrupt yourself, I think, is the message before somebody else does, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, cool. Now that said, the day job matters too, right? I know that's part of the day job, but the BAU day job matters as well. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about your area, so your partners, integrations, marketplace, that kind of thing. What does that look like?
So that is mostly an area that handles the link between companies and partners or customers, and then how they connect to services and components from our end. So we need to ensure that that link works correctly, so that their business works well, and that we can ensure that everything on our side also provides what the customer wants and when he wants it. It's mostly a lot of moving pieces that need to work integrated in a well-oiled machine, so to speak, and we're just there ensuring that everything works seamless without any issues. If it's similar to you have your car, you have to make sure all the pieces are working and they're connected and everything, so that the actual product is providing value.
Got it.
That's the best I can describe it.
Yeah, makes sense. What kind of technologies are your team working with? What does the tech stack look like?
So the tech stack goes from the full backend all the way from the relational databases, from SQL Server, DynamoDB, Postgre, and then up into .NET Framework. Everything supported on the cloud in AWS. We have EC2 instance, we have CloudWatch, we have all of the tools for serverless like Lambdas. So all of those elements that are there in the cloud, almost everything you can think of, we're using it. And then all the way to the front end, where we use a standard of Angular. And then with the rest of the technologies, everyone is used to HTML, CSS, all those things. So you get the benefits of nice front-end microsites with supported on resilient backend APIs, microservices type approach with everything connecting to data stores, with integrations with other services, either to REST or WCF or anything of that nature. So it's a full stack from the back to the front end.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. So we often will recruit full stack software engineers. I think I mentioned this to Gonzalo last week. I had a chat with him, but you guys don't make our job easy in TA because that stack sounds lovely and looks lovely on paper, but when you go full stack and you're looking for Angular with the front to back end as well, it can get a little bit tricky. So I have a question for you, which is this question is with people who don't match a job description 100%, let's just say. So let's say they are full stack software engineer, but maybe they're missing the Angular piece, or maybe maybe they have that, but they're missing AWS, maybe they're Azure or Google Cloud or something like that. What would you say to somebody who doesn't match the the black and white of a clinical job description?
So what I always recommend is just go for it. Honestly, just apply. There's a kind of a perception of people who sometimes feel that, oh, if I don't really handle 100% of the requirements, I shouldn't apply. You should always apply. Even if you only cover like 50% of the requirements, it's not mandatory that you have to know everything in maximum depth. What you need to be is very adaptable, and you need to have the desire to learn and the passion to acquire that knowledge. So for me, I can give you the example. So I've always been working in the Azure space. So I wasn't by any means a specialist in AWS, and I applied to the role. I knew that Verizon Connect was exclusively AWS, and I applied to the role because if you've learned something, you can always transpose some of that knowledge into new products or new technologies. So you shouldn't be afraid to apply. And if you get rejected of a job application in which someone tells you we need X, Y, and Z, and you're missing X, and that company just simply, just rejects your application, then maybe that's not the place you want to work with, because it's not even giving you the opportunity to kind of complement the lack of skills in a specific area with all the nice skills that you have. So my recommendation would be to always apply. The no is guaranteed. So you just apply. A rejection is part of life. You won't get every job opportunities you apply to, and you probably miss out on a couple of good opportunities if you don't apply. So I would always strongly recommend everyone to just go for it. And when I came on to the interview, I was very honest. I said, look, I don't have a lot of experience with AWS. I know what it is. I know the concepts, but I've been working on Azure for a long time. And the people, when I went to the process was amazing, and all the people were like, just don't worry about it. If you're smart, you'll get there. So it's just shows you part of that culture right away. And the fact is, after 6 months, I'm working on AWS just like I was working in Azure. So it's not.
You got there.
Yeah, I got there. It's not a big deal. And everyone got there in the end, because when you hire people, you hire smart, capable people. So there would be a reason for people not to learn and get to that point. It's just basic deduction. So you're good at one thing and you have knowledge acquisition, you're a fast learner, you're smart, then you'll get there. It's going to be like that in the end.
Yeah, I agree. It's interesting because as a part of the interview process, not everybody practices interviews, right? So they go for them when they need to or want to or are forced to or whatever it might be. But there's a skill in it. But there's also a skill behind interviewing too, because if you're talking about hiring people who don't match the brief 100%, those preferred skills like AWS or whatever, you have to be able to assess softer skills, things like, I want to say potential, and that type of thing. Now, you're always going to do it using evidence in some way, shape, or form. You'll look for competencies or behaviors that would match into whatever it is you're targeting. But we do that, and again, like the innovation on purpose, we do that on purpose, and we have what we call the cultural interview too, which is a part of that. And it's not about being a carbon copy to our culture. It's about can you be a net contributor to the culture, and that means maybe some of the stuff you have that isn't on that brief, is something that could elevate things, and then you're back into innovation and that corporate entrepreneurship as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So culture is a bit misunderstood
Yeah,
in the market. When some people talk about culture, they think, oh, we need to find someone, who plays ball, who sits here and kind of, that's not really culture, because if you just hire people just like you end up in a monoculture, and
yeah,
there's no growth for the company itself outside of those parameters. So when I talk about culture, or when a company who has a knowledge of how things work in terms of people, they think of culture as, well, let's add to it. Let's get someone who shares our values, and wants to help us get to where we're going, but comes and brings and adds something different, something that disrupts a little bit of the way we're doing. So that
yeah,
forces people to think about, well, here's a different way of doing stuff, and I think that can be done very in a very subtle way. When you're doing interviews, you just don't need to go through, interviewing has evolved a lot. It's just the same way IT has evolved a lot. Interviewing, recruiting has evolved a lot. So
yeah,
before, maybe 15 years ago, you'd get a questionnaire and it's like, what do you want to do in 15 years, or what do you like the most, and if you're still doing those types of hiring, you won't get very far into arranging a big team. And then, so then it came a lot of behavior type interviews, and functional, and then focus on culture. So there's been a lot of development in that area as well. So it's nice. When I went to the process with Verizon Connect, I could clearly pick straight away some of those elements. And the people I was meeting, they were very nice. They were very, the old the old style type. Oh, you're here asking for a job, and we're here deciding if we're going to give it to you. That no longer works.
no,
Especially on the how aggressive the market is, the fight for talent, and you want to get the best people on your side. So now it's more like a conversation, just like the one we're having here. That's
yeah,
kind of how recruitment, the good recruitment, and the good interviews process have evolved too. Is kind of, you just have really honest conversations with people. This is, what do you like? What do you love doing? Do you see yourself working with us and trying to get to this point? We're trying to push to get better, and all of that. And then, if the interests are aligned, which in my case, I was very happy, and I was loving the people. I wanted to kind of come in and contribute and help. You kind of get the both interests aligned, and you form a partnership, sort of like a marriage. You put two people together, and they try to get to the best point and grow as much as they can, and get to the to a good objectives, and get especially get some fun out of it as well.
yeah. That's it, and that's important, isn't it? It's important to
Yeah,
like doing what you're doing. You need to know why you're doing what you're doing. You need to like doing what you're doing and have
yeah,
some
yeah,
fun along the way. Yeah,
yeah,
I
exactly.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. So I have two other questions for you. I think we're just about time, and I'm conscious that you need to go have your lunch.
yeah.
So my two questions are: well, firstly, what would you say is one of the coolest things, in your opinion, about working in Verizon Connect?
For me, it's the people. Has always been the people from day one.
Yeah,
Since I've met everyone, whether it was on the phone with the people team, whether it's on the people I met on the interviews,
yeah,
the managers, the other engineers on the team, the people were they were at the level that I would like for me to come into an environment and work. I want to work with nice people. I want to work with people who are capable, not
yeah,
just technically, but have the skills, to work as a team, and that was the biggest asset I thought for the company.
yeah. It's an important question to ask, when you're going through the interview process as an interviewer now. Uh, can I work with this person? Can I see myself working? Would I like working with this person? And vice versa, will we enjoy working together? Yeah, that's cool. Okay, the final question then is, who should we talk to next? Who do you think we could have an interesting chat with?
You mentioned Lab. I think Lab would be interesting for a number of reasons. I think first, he has a wealth of knowledge. And he's someone that I respect and I like a lot, and I have the pleasure of working with him on a daily basis. So I definitely think he would be a good candidate to bring in.
Awesome. I love it. Okay. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to have a chat with us. It's our view, our perspective, that just pulling the curtains back a little bit to show life inside the business will help anybody out there, whether they're an intern all the way through to engineering leaders like yourself, or experience or product people. Giving them an insight into the people behind the business, behind the brand, is just so valuable, and it humanizes what we do. And as you say, it's all about the people anyway. So I think that's really important. So thanks a million, and I'll see you soon in the office.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity, and see you soon.
All right, take care. Cheers, Sergio. Bye-bye. Okay, there you go, folks. That's a wrap for this Friday. Sergio was brilliant. I love that he's able to talk about his career, talk about the tech stack that he works on, what's really, really interesting, who to talk to and why, and then underscores it all by both saying that it's all about the people that are within the business, and then giving an example of one of the people he works with on a daily basis that he thinks we should talk with. So look, as always, if you click like and comment below, you'll be able to connect with us. Let us know you're watching, and we'll follow up with you, and we can talk about careers at Verizon Connect. But for now, as always, we're going to leave you with our 2023 Credo video. Again, it tells us a little bit about who we are and how we show up. Take care.
This is our Verizon Credo. It's inspired our culture for almost 20 years. Think of it as a note to self, our declaration of values, a guide for our day-to-day.
Everything we do, we build on a strong network,
systems, and process foundation.
We know our products
and can explain them to customers.
We make it easy for customers to do business with us.
By listening,
anticipating,
and responding.
Integrity is at the core
of who we are.
We know teamwork enables us to serve our customers better and faster.
We run to a crisis, not away.
We deliver superior customer experiences through our products and our actions.
This is our credo.
It keeps us grounded,
aligned,
doing the right things.
It's about who we are,
how we work,
and most of all, who we work for.
We focus outward.
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 We focus outward.
On the customer.